Welcome, colleagues and friends. We're going to start on time here. We invited you this morning to this very special stakeholder meeting, and we want to share with you the excitement we've had in this Caribbean tree planting project and the work we're doing in the Caribbean Philanthropic Alliance. And we want to tell you about some even more exciting new developments to come. So while we wait for others to join, I want to invite you to take a quick glance at our 2020 year in review. That's in the chat if you haven't done so already. And I want to move right into introducing to you a very special woman who has joined us, a Bayesian, Dr. Jenny Ward Robinson, and she's Vice Chair of the CariPhilAlliance. She was president and CEO of Uniting for Health Innovation, formerly PAHO Foundation. And she is currently the special advisor to the Dean of the College of Arts and Science at Georgia State University and co-director of the Center for Studies on Africa and its Diaspora. She is a wonderful human being, a transformational leader, and we're really so privileged to have her as part of our team in the Caribbean Philanthropic Alliance. So over to you, Jenny.
Thank you. Good morning, Dr. Hamilton. Prof, as you are more well known, I am very honored and grateful that the Clinton Foundation facilitated the introduction that led to my being a part of this incredible organization. You speak of transformation, and I think this organization is transformational. It has such impact because of its reach across the UN Sustainable Goals, across the broad reach of the countries, but more important because of its capacity to engage young people at a grassroots level at a time when the world is actually calling for more engagement of young people to bring forward new and innovative ideas to help solve our problems. And finally, on the second day of the start of hurricane season, I can't think of a better mitigation strategy than what has been launched under the CariPhilAlliance. So I want to just briefly not only thank you, but share with you what my experience has been over. Actually, it's not quite a year of being affiliated with this organization, but under Dr. Hamilton's dynamic leadership, and you can hear some mutual admiration experience here between us, but under her leadership and in a very short time of my observation, she has taken this organization to a new level of operation, new level of visibility, a new level of outstanding ground, and she has stood up the organization to be tall and to give an accountability of its presence in the Caribbean, representing a voice that has been vacant in the SDG dialogue with respect to sustainability and several other areas of the SDG. COVID happened in the middle of all of this. In fact, we met in the middle of COVID. And yet within that experience, progress did not stop. Rosalie has been able to expand the growth, and everything I say to you is in the chat in the year in review, but I want to pull some things to the forefront because they're so critical. She's been able to expand the growth to over 20 countries. I believe that we're currently about 22. She's been able to grow the partnership over 300, and almost 3,000 youths are involved. And when we talk about youth, we're talking about individuals under 25 years old. And any of you who work with young people know that it's like herding cats to get young people involved and agreeing to do anything in tandem, but she successfully did it. And then the mind-boggling piece, and I have to tell you, I was stunned and first didn't believe it until I actually saw the reports. Almost 1 million trees planted in the middle of COVID. That is, I want to say impossible. I don't know how it happened, but it happened. And so under Rosalie's leadership, we also formed a board and not only a board, but a board that is comprised of one of the leading health experts from CDC, myself, a leader from Trinidad, and she successfully breached all of the boundaries of the sovereignty of the islands in the Caribbean and successfully garnered and engaged several of us. One of our board members is the leader of one of the oldest Black organizations in the US. And with that, we've all come together then to support her effort. And under her leadership, we developed the reporting documents that are required for compliance, created marketing and fundraising strategies, created a budget, and more importantly, we created a strategic plan. The strategic plan has 4 pillars. Of course, the tree planting is a critical one and the one that is most advanced. The second one is women's empowerment. And I think if you were to break apart the participants, you will find that there's a strong representation of women leaders among the partners. The third is education. And then of course, the fourth is sustainable financing. We have launched key partnerships, one of which is the university, and another one you will hear from today is very exciting with the Alba Corporation across beyond the pond. It reached across the US and went to Europe and in a country that is known for its leadership in sustainability. As Rosalie said when she introduced me, this is a very exciting time. It is a very compelling time. It is a time to, one, reflect on what we've done and I commend your leadership, not only Rosalie, but all of you who are early stakeholders and early adopters. I commend your vision for seeing what is possible, understanding the gap, understanding the lag, understanding the role that the Caribbean can play in leading the way, in demonstrating its role as a living laboratory to addressing sustainability, and to do it within the framework of the US SDGs. I'm excited now as we look forward to where we go. As a board member, I would be remiss if I did not say that paramount on our agenda is fundraising, because the world takes money to turn the wheel, and that is our critical agenda. And for me as a board member, it is absolutely essential and paramount. So I am excited about what is to come. I'm looking forward to what other magic Dr. Hamilton will provide as she leads us forward. And I am excited and hope that with COVID restrictions lifting, we can have the next meeting in person, and I can get to meet all of you and say a personal thank you for what you're doing for our region. Rosalia, you're to be congratulated. Thank you for your leadership. And now I turn it back to you.
Thank you so much, Jenny. You know, they say dream teams do magic, right? It's a pleasure to work with you and the team, and this is truly teamwork. The work that we've been doing is really, truly phenomenal, and it has a lot to do with all of us. The early work of the visionaries you mentioned, Caroline Mafu, who co-founded this whole alliance initially last year, 2019 when we started. And I know she's going to join us shortly, and others that were really doing a lot of the heavy lifting in the early years. And among them was the important support we got from the UN Department of Economic and Social Affairs, led by the SIDS units, led by Sai Navote. And I hope Sai is here with us this morning. I'm not sure I see him online yet, but if he's here, yes, you are. Great. Really look forward to seeing you again. So much has happened since we started in 2019, and that famous conversation we had when the UN started a conversation about philanthropy and the SDGs. And so I'm really happy that you could join us this morning just to say a few words. Over to you.
Thank you kindly, Dr. Hamilton, members of the Alliance, the board members, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning from New York. I'm really happy to be invited to say a few words this morning. The United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs was very happy to have been a part of the Alliance journey. In 2020, we were invited to participate in New York when the Alliance was here with the support of the Jamaica Permanent Mission to the United Nations, the launch of the Alliance. That was a very, very exciting time for us. And since then, we have developed a very cordial and a very good relations with Dr. Hamilton. Last year, in the midst of COVID, she participated in the global multi-stakeholder dialogue for the Partnership for Small Island Developing States, and made an intervention on behalf of the Alliance, and where she mentioned about this project, the tree planting project. For us, we have heard a very positive development since then from the Alliance, particularly this project on tree planting. And on that, I would like to express on behalf of the United Nations Secretariat how happy and how glad we are to see efforts, particularly from the private sector, from stakeholders such as this Alliance, taking lead in various places, various countries, and in particularly in small island developing states. Now, as I have no doubt, majority of probably all the members of this Alliance know, and those who are involved in this deforestation, this forest tree planting project, the deforestation and forest degradation account for approximately 11% of all carbon emissions. Now, that is more than the entire global transportation sector, second only to the energy sector. So it is important, and it's now very clear that in order for us to constrain the impact of climate change within the limit that society will reasonably be able to tolerate, we will need practical solutions such as those that we are doing, and it will be very hard to imagine that such an effort not to involve the forest sector. Now, for me this morning, I would like to inform members of the Alliance and our colleagues who are involved in this very important project in the Caribbean that there are other similar initiatives that are currently taking place around the world, in particular in the small island developing states region. Now, for your colleagues who are living in the Pacific Islands, the government of Fiji is spearheading also a similar project, but from a government level. And that is this, the National Green Growth Framework of Fiji. They also envisage to plant over 4 years, 4 million trees, which is exactly the same as what you are endeavoring on. I would like to encourage you to also reach out and see how that Fiji is doing their work. It might help your project. Now, they are partnering very closely with the REDD+, the United Nations REDD+ initiative. And I'm sure Dr. Hamilton knows about this. This is the reducing emission from deforestation and forest degradation mechanism of the United Nations that was established under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Now, for those colleagues from the Caribbean, it might be interest of you to know that there are few partner countries from the Caribbean, the Dominican Republic, Guyana, Jamaica, and Suriname. Now, these are the 4 Caribbean countries who are partner countries with REDD+. And I would really encourage this initiative to approach the respective government in the Caribbean and see whether you can partner with them with this initiative. I am not aware of any policy of government like those that are already in Fiji that has this tree planting as one of the initiatives. So this is probably something that Dr. Hamilton and the rest of the Alliance members could could venture to take a look at. Just finally, to end my greetings and my comments and my congratulatory remarks, I would like to highlight that this year, in a few days, in fact 3 days, we will celebrate on the 5th of June, the World Environmental Day. So that is something that you may want to also see what the program is like and could possibly participate and say a few things on the day with the globally organized events. And then, of course, on the 22nd of June, there is the World Rainforest Day. This is a collaborative effort to raise awareness and to encourage action to save one of Earth's most precious resources, and that is the rainforest, which is very much aligned to the initiative that you're doing. And then, of course, later on in the year, on the 21st of September, that is we're going to celebrate the Zero Emission Day. So, Dr. Hamilton, those are the few remarks that I would like to say this morning, and I must say that we are always here at the United Nations, and we are following very closely the good practices that are happening around the world, particularly in small island developing states. And I'm happy to say that this is one of the good practices that is being spearheaded, an initiative from the private sector, which is something that we would like to encourage and replicate in other regions, in other countries, in small island developing states. So with those few words, I congratulate once again the Philanthropic Alliance and wish you all the very best this year. Thank you kindly.
Thank you so very much. We definitely are looking forward to the collaboration with other SIDS, small island development states, Fiji and others. And you should note that there are countries in the Caribbean, including my own here in Jamaica, that have a policy to plant trees and a program. And so, in fact, we have active members of government who are part of the Alliance network in the case of Dominica and a couple of other countries. So again, we thank you so much for your ongoing support and collaboration, and really look forward to our collaboration in the future. Thanks. All right, so we're gonna do a quick update now on what we've done since we've did our report in 2020. Come January, a couple of exciting new developments started. And I want Anthea McLaughlin to take us through what has happened from January to date. Anthea is one of our directors at the Caribbean Philanthropic Alliance, and she's also CEO at the Bridge Foundation and Managing Director of Bridge Partners and Associates, sorry. Anthea, over to you. Unmute for me so we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. I think you just muted again.
It's muted again? Okay, got it now. Wonderful.
Yes.
Well, thank you, everyone. Good morning to everyone here today. I want to say thank you for taking the time to meet with us to share the wonderful work of the Caribbean Philanthropic Alliance and the Caribbean Tree Planting Project. I am also very inspired by the leadership of Rosalie. She brings excitement to the project, as well as an extreme competence, and also to the board that we have organized this year, who have demonstrated commitment to the project. And as national coordinator of Trinidad and Tobago, I am motivated, and you will hear from many of our young ambassadors today. But on the ground in Trinidad, there is real excitement, and a lot of work has been done by our environmental advocates here. And so thank you all. In 2009, I want to share on my screen. I don't know, Rosalie, I'll just share. Share the screen. I want to
It's up, Anthea.
It's up. I wanted to file. I sent the file to you, Rosalie. I don't know if you want to.
No, well, all right, you could perhaps start until I find the file.
Yeah. In 2019, 2020, we agreed to
take down the screen.
Yeah. Got it?
No, just take, yes, clear screen.
Okay, good.
All right.
Wonderful. In 2019 and 2020, we responded to the global call of global action and climate change. And we agreed collaboratively in the Caribbean that we all experience physical vulnerability and that we are obligated to promoting sustainable use of ecosystems, as well as coming up with strategic strategies to halt land degradation, protect diversity, manage our forests and adaptation strategies. Despite it all, in terms of global pandemic, we have steadily planted indigenous trees, educated communities on the value proposition of trees to the local economies, the region and the world. In terms of, that's the third slide, we all understand for sure the intrinsic value of trees. And of course, with post-COVID, we've all discussed at our personal dining tables about the importance of trees to our social economy, to our financial economy, and to the cultural fabric of our countries. You've heard people talk about farm to table, which is to increase the healthy consumption of foods. We've spoken a lot about the importance of indigenous foods to increase our national pride, and is a way also to showcase the value of local food to our economies and to the world. We have spent a lot of time talking about the financial contribution of trees and the value and the link to food security. This is something that we all understand very well. Recently, speaking with many of our country representatives, we have learned that 80% of, in some cases, in some countries, 80% of imports happen and 20% exports, and we have to change that percentage. On the right, you will see there's a tree solution, which indicates several financial and economic benefits, which is the main, and you'll see the main driver is increasing education, knowledge and awareness, and responsibility. As we know, with increased knowledge comes improved capacity and land management strategies, and of course, the improvement of quality of life. This slide that I'm going to share with you, which I think is a slide that I always promote, and I think is important for us to understand why our work is so important. And this slide came from the Economics of Ecosystems and Biodiversity, and it's a global initiative that focuses on demonstrating and capturing the value of nature. And here, what we have here is a 3-tier structure for 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which emphasizes that our planet, natural resources underpin the delivery of 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, particularly as it relates to climate change, climate action, Sustainable Goal 13 and 15, and that the biosphere is the basis for our work. So can you imagine if we don't take care of the environment here, what would happen to Sustainable Development Goals, which would be compromised? If we don't take care of our environment, we would not be able to achieve the vision of Sustainable Development Goals 1 through 15. In terms of, here is a wonderful map, which shows the breadth and depth of the work of Caribbean Philanthropic Alliance. Here you would see organizations have are spread across the country, spread across all the different countries, 22 countries in particular. You would see Anguilla all the way through Trinidad and Tobago. And I think that is not a small feat in such a short period of time that we've been able to galvanize 22 countries. The energy does not, this map doesn't share the energy that really is happening within the communities. But what we do know is that we have built a regional network of national teams to implement the first intervention project of Sustainable Development Goal 13 and 15. In terms of country-specific actions. I would speak to a few of the countries. One, Bahamas in particular, led by Chaz Garraway, with a strong public-private sector collaboration, are engaging and advocating for sustainable management of coastal areas. Local businesses in coastal zones, as you all know, depend on the environmental status of these areas, and is essential in making use of long-term management tools, especially as we talk about the protection of our coastal resources. In Haiti, where we have a national coordinator, Giles Sassine, we all know about the severe deforestation challenges in Haiti, and they have embraced an ecosystem approach that promotes collaboration among education, civil society, and government. Currently, 80% of what Haiti eats is imported, and we know that we have to change that percentage. You'll hear later from Trees That Feeds, who is working with local NGOs on the ground and working with farmers who possess the knowledge and vested interest to take care and protect trees in Haiti. In Suriname, I would just say that I know that we have Renee on the call in the conference, but in Suriname, we have 93% forest coverage and 30% of land exposed to logging and mining. And so where common trees are becoming rare, they are working expeditiously to promote self-sustainable integrated policies. In addition, we've learned from the group they're spending some time to plant trees in the urban areas, lost to concrete in Suriname. And they have this wonderful motto called reserve what they have and repair what they can in Suriname. Of course, in the land of oil and oil and music, Trinidad and Tobago, where I reside as national coordinator, Tobago has convened many diverse group of environmental organizations and leaders who expressed real quickly the importance of coming together and focusing what's already working. So we were clear that we had an outline that we had to build on existing initiatives and facilitate partnerships, had to mobilize and promote what's already happening, enhance current initiatives and implementation, and sustain and monitor implementation. And so we agreed as a team that tree planting was just one of the actions, the sustainable continuum, and that we had many other sustainable actions that we had to embark on. What you see here is that we had created a Plants to Roots organization where we really a youth response to climate action to send a strong message of not planting trees only, but advocating for climate justice. The roots, I must say here that it was a big thing that when we created this Plant Your Roots youth group, the acronym is Reclaiming Our Oxygen, Trees and Seas, very important. In terms of education and advocacy, which has been very recent, this year, 2021, we have actually provided online education sessions in schools to promote environmental awareness and the importance of tree planting. And throughout 2021, working with our NGO community and government stakeholders, we have promoted many different causes, and in particular, forest management best practices. Here in Trinidad and Tobago, we have issues with quarries, degradation of quarries, and we are working and promoting quarry redevelopment as a workforce strategy for Trinidad and Tobago, and also focusing on policy legislation for vulnerable coastal communities experiencing land degradation and land erosion as well. I would just also like to say that we have a lot of stars in our midst in Trinidad and Tobago that have been doing work for many years in environmental sustainability. And we have Amadath Maraj has been creating local advocacy platforms to promote social economic values. Of course, and I just want to say quickly, and this is really an invitation to the group, is that we are working with Environment Tobago, which will be hosting a conference on June 28th and 29th, focusing on culture of communication. I just wanted to share that with you. Here we have now, we have launched a planting ambassador program in January 10, 2020. There on January 2020, we introduced the ambassadors to the world and to all our country teams. The event focused on idea generation and discussed for new ambassadors what it takes to lead. And you will see that they're not shy. They have a lot of energy, but they have a lot of ideas as well. And they have come up with many different ways to innovate tree planting strategies. Reflections on World Forest Day and Earth Day happened. March 21st was World Forest Day, and it was a lot of collaboration and sharing. We had panelists which discussed their experiences and country highlights. And in TNT exchange, I must say, because this is a Jamaican group, we must say, it would be remiss of me not to share with you that we brought together the Association of Jamaicans in Trinidad and Tobago, farmers, High Commission, as well as His Excellency Anthony Kimona, and they exchanged the Aki tree, which is very important. I just wanted to say that, where it was really a demonstration of exchanging culture and also promoting trade between the islands. And I thought that was very important. In terms of Earth Day, we also had reflections that was hosted by Talia Mohammed, and where she actually interviewed Darian Henry, the Assistant Conservator of Forests from the Department of Natural Resources in Trinidad. And he offered some highlights on the importance of tree planting and climate action, as well as what the importance of electricity security. And that was very, very good. As you can see now, we have World Environment Day, which is about to happen. And of course, we heard from our speaker about the importance of involving ourselves in World Environment Day, principal vehicle of countries coming together. And we'll be hosting a regional online digital event to report on our goals and objectives and achievements that occurred in 2020, and the number of trees already planted. I think you've heard the number already, 800 trees, with the goal of 1 million by the end of this year. And of course, we have a call to action.
820,000.
820. 820. We're very humble. We're very humble in the number, so we make sure that we get it right. So 820 trees is no small feat at all. And of course, in terms of the call to action, I think that's a slide above, is another major event that is coming up July 5th to the 12th, where we will have a call for action to the heads of government to establish Caribbean tree planting. We invite you to sign the open letter. All of us who are here, we're going to be sending you the letters so that you can share it and sign it for yourselves. We're encouraging philanthropic organizations to unite with us to make this week possible. And of course, we have to start at home first, but the intention in a year from now is to make a global call and to get the global participation of all our countries. So we will ask the world to join us. And of course, we're expecting great things for 2021. So as you can see, we have done a lot. We've made significant progress despite it all. COVID-19 has not stopped us from making a difference throughout the region. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anthea. And by the way, my colleagues, Anthea pretends to be Trinidadian, but she's really Jamaican.
That's okay.
Half of
And
her is Trinidad, so we claimed the
yeah.
other half this morning.
Yeah. So hence that's why we did the Aki exchange. We have to put that in there somehow.
Right.
So that's okay.
So thanks so much, Anthea, and your leadership in Trinidad and Tobago has been amazing. Now, let me move quickly to really a kind of the foundation of all that we do when it comes to trees, especially breadfruit trees in the Caribbean. Wow. Nobody can miss the name Trees That Feed Foundation. And in particular, the names Mary and Mike McLaughlin, right? They are really the movers and shakers of tree. I'm literally pretending to be in this place, just pulling things together, but the real planters and people who are serious, and I've been doing it for more than 10 years, is Mike and Mary McLaughlin. So I just want to welcome you both and to just invite you just to share a few words with us this morning about the amazing work you're doing across the Caribbean.
Well, thank you, Dr. Hamilton. I can tell you I wouldn't be here without your leadership. You are amazing. You pull people together when we want to stray and we want to get tired. You pull us in, and I really have enjoyed working with you because you're light on your feet. You're flexible. We have been planting fruit trees, not just breadfruit, but all fruit trees, starting in Jamaica and Haiti, throughout the Caribbean and Africa for 12 years. We think we do it well, but we know we are here in Chicago, although we're from Jamaica. And you were a very good advocate for us because you have people who are boots on the ground. And boots on the ground need to have this done. I recently watched a documentary about Ebola in Sierra Leone, and they were able to conquer Ebola, not with a vaccine, because there wasn't a vaccine then, but because of boots on the ground and the youth. The people who are about 18 years old got engaged, and they really were the influencers. They got to change their parents' attitudes, the traditional healers' attitudes, by just being an army, almost as, well, not a silent army, but a group of people who formed together to do this. And Dr. Hamilton, this is what you are doing with the youth of the Caribbean. You know, when COVID hit, we were able to plant a seed and engage the young people to plant a seed and a tree. And Trees That Feed is still working with many of those winners, especially in Haiti, as they now become champions of tree planting in Haiti. There's an island off the coast of Haiti, La Gonave, and it's the size of Barbados. Not many people hear about it, but there's a school there that won the Plant a Seed program, and their students are now planting one tree in one backyard. And I really think this is the way to really reforest this planet. Every backyard, every side of the road should have fruit trees. They don't have to be giant fruit trees. They can be cherries or pomegranates that can be planted just as snacks. You know, we can reforest by creating jobs, which we're actively doing with breadfruit throughout the Caribbean and Central America, to create jobs and to reforest. And really we focus on agroforest, where you have a holistic forest. So we promised when the Gauri Patel at the Clinton Foundation asked us if we would join you, and we want to thank the Clinton Foundation for doing that. And we're very grateful for them for this introduction. We promised to plant 20,000 trees, and we've doubled that. So Mike is here. We're a husband and wife team with Trees That Feed, and I'll let him speak about the numbers of the trees that were planted, and I'll be brief because I know time is short.
I'd just like to mention that Mary and I have been collaborating for 49 years in marriage and about 12 years with Trees That Feed. So the numbers I think are quite impressive. Congratulations to Rosalie and the CTPP team, and we're just ecstatic to be part of that. In fact, it's such a perfect fit that it was very easy to just enthusiastically jump in. So we've done 50, we pledged 20,000. So we gave Rosalie her car a push start, but we're at 55,000 right now. and counting. And that's in 11 countries in the Caribbean. We also operate in places like Uganda, Kenya, really almost all over the world right now. But this is Caribbean, and this is Jamaica specifically, which is where we got started. I just want to add a couple of quick points to what Mary said. She said it well, but we do fruit trees. We love all kinds of trees. We have a tree in our backyard that they tell us is 298 years old. So in a couple of years, we're going to have a birthday party for the tree. Okay, so we love all trees, but fruit trees create a triple win because it's the environment, which is what kind of got us started, but we also realize the importance of food, of nutrition. So we focus on fruit trees. And oh, by the way, with fruit and selling fruit and buying fruit, you're boosting the local economy. So what we want to see is the permanent benefit, the long-lived benefit of the planting of trees. And Mary didn't mention this, but she comes up with all the good ideas, okay? I have to, get a few things done, but all the good ideas are really hers. She says, we need to monitor the survival of the trees. So the planting, and you go home at the end of the day and you're a little tired and you feel good, right? Okay, so now you have a little seedling in the ground. Is this little seedling going to live 5 years, 10 years, 20, 100 years? Okay, it could. So we do encourage our farmers and our groups to think about that as well. So anyway, we're delighted to be part of this program. I think it's already a success. I see it continuing to be a great success with the leadership that you see here with Rosalie and with the young people that are inheriting the world that we're leaving them. We're just ecstatic to see them working with us on this. So it's a terrific, terrific program.
Thank you, Dr. Hamilton. You are our leader, and we're immensely grateful. You're doing a fantastic job. Thank you.
Thank you so much to both of you. And, yes, I've been doing a lot, yes. But let me say this, there are times when I just couldn't. And I remember during that, it starts with a seed competition. I said to Mary, Mary, you have to take this. I can't. I'm over. This was the heights of COVID. I just couldn't do anymore. And Mary stepped up to the plate and just, said, all right, I'll do it. And she jumped in and, I said, Mary, can you make this meeting? And so we did that. So it's tag team. We work, all of us work well together, and I think praises go to everyone. It's really not me. I could not have done it without you, Mary. Thank you so much. All right, and you did mention, by the way, I should let the ladies know that Mary is an immaculate old girl, you see? So
No. I thought that immaculate. I'm a St. Andrews.
She's part of, all right, she's part of the immaculate team. All right. Let me move on now to introducing to you Gauri Patel from the Clinton Global Initiative. And you would have heard the CGI mentioned throughout this session today because they were so instrumental very early in February when we made a commitment to plant 1 million trees. And Gauri was there from the inception and has been guiding us and pulling together and has been doing an awesome job. So I just wanted Gauri to just say a few words about our collaboration.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. And just echoing the folks that have already spoken, it's just been such a privilege to be part of this little family and to see such familiar faces on the call this morning. So thank you for that. As you mentioned, just wanted to give a brief update on our partnership from the Clinton Foundation's Clinton Global Initiative. As many of you know, back in 2019, the CariPhilAlliance have come to one of our meetings, and we started talking about their work and have turned it into a CGI, what we call a commitment to action. That was actually acknowledged and announced by President Clinton in San Juan, Puerto Rico at our last in-person conference. And at that point in time, it aimed to leverage the network to plant trees in, I believe, 10 Caribbean countries. And as we all know, that has grown so much larger in scope and impact to across over 20 countries, if I'm not mistaken. And so we've just been honored to be part of that network building and that has supported the program and this support and this growth and success. CGI, our team, works in the region. What we try to ground ourselves in is the fact that the Caribbean region contributes less than 1% of the world's greenhouse emissions, yet bears the brunt of the social, the economic, and the environmental impacts caused by climate change. And I think despite these challenges, what we were talking about before, I think this tree planting program has really uniquely highlighted how young people have continued to advocate for action through COVID, really demonstrating their ability to create and lead their own solutions. And so, as Jenny mentioned earlier, I think this program, out of the projects that we work on at the Clinton Foundation, is really unique in its grassroots approach to really bolster that transition to sustainable development by centering the voices and the visions of young people. And so, in order to, in an effort to promote this approach and really highlight it as a model for the region, we've been partnering together over the last few years to host several different convenings, meetings, events that bring together and engage public and private sector partners that come together and really have an opportunity to sort of educate and promote some of this work that has been going on. I think they've been really key in building an understanding that has been mentioned earlier between tree planting and food security and economic development, and really serving as an opportunity to showcase the work of the youth ambassadors and to really center their voices. And so we're really looking forward to continuing working together and bringing folks around the table, building the network that really supports this work in this community. And I think our next sort of endeavor is looking forward to July in hosting an opening ceremony to really highlight and celebrate the work of all of the countries that have been part of this initiative to kick off the week of action coming up next month. So thank you for having us. It's really been an honor.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate all that you've been doing, and looking forward to the collaboration. We look forward to that event on during our Caribbean Tree Planting Week. All right, so we have been getting quite a bit of collaboration and support from corporations in the Caribbean, here in Jamaica, across the Caribbean, and Sandals Foundation is one of them, one of the foundations that have stepped up and the companies that have said, yes, we need to do this and to partner with us. So I have next Heidi Clark, who's the Executive Director of the Sandals Foundation. And Heidi is just going to say a few words. Just keep it tight as we try to wrap up. Really so many great things to say, but over to you, Heidi.
Oh, great things. Thank you so much. It really is a pleasure to be here this morning. And I really want to thank the Clinton Foundation and Dr. Hamilton, who has been a great inspiration. I don't know how she does it all. But just really to say, we're thrilled to be part of this group. Sandals Foundation has always been involved in tree planting since the get-go 12 years ago. Before this CariPhilAlliance started, we planted close to 17,000 trees. And since then, since the CariPhilAlliance, we planted 3,000 in the last year. What I have to say about this alliance is it's pushed us to scale up what we're doing and pushed us to understand that their need is so great. And I have to say, a couple of weeks ago, I traveled to the northern Bahamas, and to see the vulnerability and the devastation and to understand how important this initiative is now and going forward. It's no better time than the present. I think the COVID pandemic has given the environment a little chance to breathe, but has also made us recognize how vulnerable we are. I think the good things coming out of it is that people have reprioritized and recognized that they are able to do more, and that's travelers included. So I think we have a great opportunity to tap into. The work that the Sandals Foundation does is only made possible through the expertise on the ground. So that is our partners that are through coastal rehabilitation with a focus on mangroves and of course respective forestry divisions. So I'm pleased to say that, like I said, 3,000 trees working in Grenada and Jamaica to start, 3 regions here in Jamaica. And our main partners have been the Grenada Fund for Conservation and Jamaica Forestry. And we're now exploring additional partnerships with the Bahamas National Trust with a focus on the Northern Bahamas. And then looking in Antigua with both the Walling Center, Nature Center, and the Environmental Awareness Group there. We are committed to carrying on our efforts. We are looking for further partnerships. And for us, this initiative is just the beginning. And we hope that it'll be something that we can continue. And this partnership has proved amazing. And I want to say a super congratulations to everybody who has been part of this and the effort. I mean, the numbers are just really saying so much about what we can do together. So thank you for including us, and know that we remain committed. Thanks a lot, Dr. Hamilton.
Yeah, thank you so much, Heidi. And I want to say that, you know, Sanders Foundation brought a lot of excitement to Antigua and Barbuda, because I remember talking to Lyle there, and they were kind of being overwhelmed by COVID. And when they heard that, you know, you were going to support them, they were really super happy. So I really appreciate the work you're doing, Grenada and so on. And we're here, Bahamas. Thank you so much for your support. All right, now I have a very special guest I want to introduce you all to. We thought that, you know, it's one thing for us to do all this amazing work here in Jamaica, but we want the world to know. And our call to action that we will hear on June 5th is really a call to bring to the attention of the world the existential threat that we faced and what we're currently facing in a very real way. What's happening in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is real. It's affecting lives, transforming lives. And so we want the world to understand this. And so we thought that we need to partner with global brands that really can introduce us to the world and introduce us in a way that can enable us to help ourselves. So we have a collaboration going with Alba of Denmark, and Maikan Banki Over is here with us. She's the owner of Alba of Denmark, and she's a designer. And she's just a wonderful human being that we've met that just simply loves our project and decided that she wants to partner. So tell us why you made this step, Maikan.
Thank you, Rosalie. I'm so happy that you invited me for this event, and I feel so honored that you actually chose us as a partner. I want to introduce myself. I'm the owner of a sustainable children brand based in Denmark, in the northern of Europe. I'm here because I want to help you to raise funds so you can grow more trees, but also so we together can help each other to fight against these climate changes that we are facing around the world, also in the north of Europe. But to go into this global partnership, for me, it's not only to raise funds, but it's also to use our voice that we can raise towards kids with educational programs, but also to learn and teach kids and their young parents, new generations, how important it is that we all are taking social and sustainable responsibilities. So yeah, by doing this cooperation with you, we're using cross marketing to help each other to work sustainable plans. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And you know, it was so easy to collaborate with your organization because you're doing so much along the SDGs, all the way through that value chain in terms of your organic cotton, you know, the global certifications that you have and so on. Where we heard about this, we thought amazing. Yes, you're creating a framework in which we can earn money, but importantly, you're also as a company actively getting involved in tree planting activities, encouraging the kids and so on. So we really appreciate this collaboration and we look forward to it. I know Andrea Mullner has been, we claim her as Jamaican too, and Andrea is here, and she's going to tell us a little about World Environment Day, but I know she's also going to put in the chat a link to the collection, the shirts that you've designed and the special arrangement that you're putting in place for companies to buy at least 50 t-shirts. Proceeds comes to our tree planting initiative, and also ensuring that you can make we are all branded and we are all looking like we're planting trees in a uniform way, and that's the dream we have. By the time we get to Caribbean Tree Planting Week, that we can all be wearing our t-shirts and planting up a storm. That's kind of what we want to do. So I thank you for that. You really jumped in very early and offered your support, and it's happening, and we appreciate it. So please check in the chat. You'll see a PowerPoint presentation that lays out the collaboration and how you can support us through the t-shirt purchases, and also providing the details that we want in an Excel file. So Andrea, if you're here with us, I want you to just tell us a little about what we're planning to do on World Environment Day. And while we're finding you, is
I'm
Andrea
actually here. Yeah.
Okay, great. And she has been, let me just say, here you are. So Andrea has really been a mover and shaker behind the scenes in making a lot of things work. I see Mary's thumbs up. Yes, Andrea has been the mover and shaker. But I'm getting all the praise, Andrea, but you deserve a lot of it because Andrea has really been helping us in our social media space and so on. Over to you. Tell us what we're going to do in World Environment Day.
Okay, before I go to that one, I just would like to mention something about the tree shirts, because we call them tree shirts as a funny name. So if you look at the print, what you can download, there is a presentation and a pre-order sheet on this link, what I shared in the chat. And in the presentation, you will see the collection. And when you look at the shirt itself, you will see the print on the front of the shirt. And I just wanted to highlight that the shirt was really made for the project. When we started the conversation about the collaboration, we shared a video with Maiken about 400 years old baobab tree. I believe it was from St. Vincent or St. Kitts, maybe St. Kitts.
Yes.
Yeah. And so Maiken looked at the video and created this beautiful print on the front of the shirt. So I just wanted to share that this is not just a shirt, but this is a shirt for really the organization and for the region. So that's just a little note about the shirt. And so 5th of June is World Environment Day. And it's a special day for us, not just because we celebrate World Environment Day, but also this was the day or date what we picked to complete or to plant this 1 million trees since we started the project. And currently we are counting still the numbers to make sure we have the complete number for Saturday. And so the plan is to kick off an online event, which is going to be a Zoom event, but we're going to live stream on Facebook. It's 2:00 Jamaican time. And then we're going to just, briefly talk about what happened in the past 1 year with the different projects, what we had. We would like to highlight the youth leadership, the ambassadors in the different countries, because they really do amazing job or amazing work. And then in the second part of the event, we would like to talk about this collaboration and encourage people to come on board and purchase the shirts, either as individuals or as corporations. So I think that's basically the agenda for Saturday. And I would like to invite all of you, please join us either through the Zoom event, or you can also go to our Facebook. And let me just take the opportunity to also ask you to follow us on our social media pages. It's Caribbean Tree Planting Project, both on Instagram and Facebook. And the event is going to be there, as I said, live stream. So once the event kicks off, you can just click the share button and share it on your own Facebook page. So therefore, you also help us to spread the word about the project through sharing. I think that's it, Prof. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'm just quickly putting on the screen the tree shirts. I forgot it's tree shirts and not t-shirts. And you're absolutely correct that the image came from the design of the baobab tree. And we saw this amazing old baobab tree in St. Kitts and Nevis. It's located in Nevis, and that was the inspiration behind the tree. So that's the shirt. And looking forward to your support. All of the organizations here, if you really want to support us, this is a very tangible way to do it. And we all want to be wearing shirts during the first week in July, starting July 5th, on what we're calling Caribbean Tree Planting Week. And here to tell us about that Caribbean Tree Planting Week is Chaz Garway. And Chaz Garway is our youth leader. In fact, he's also a director of the Caribbean Philanthropic Alliance. And Chaz really started the organization with us. He was there at the UN and talking up a storm in the context of Hurricane Dorian, devastating Bahamas. And he's been with us in an amazing way. Finishing your degree, did you finish, Chaz?
I graduate next Wednesday.
You did finish, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we kept worrying. Chaz, are you doing your homework? Are you making sure you have to graduate? And he did it all. Planted us up a storm, led in an amazing way young people across the region, and completed his degree. Over to you, Chaz.
Thank you for always giving me a very nice introduction. Good morning, everyone. As Prof mentioned, we have been working on this project for a while, and this basically culminates all the work that we've been doing for a long time. A lot of the countries are planning to do a lot of different activities during the week. And as Andrea said, the week starts on June 5th with World Environment Day. And then from then on, there are basically, we're trying to get as much countries as possible to participate in different ways. And so just to highlight a few things that are happening, St. Kitts, they're producing a song for the opening ceremony on June 5th. Belize is organizing some artists to do tree planting paintings, and then they're going to sell them in an art auction as a fundraiser. In Suriname, they're planning a lot, and they're planning to do a presentation on promoting the SDGs, as well as they are planning to plant 600 trees during the week. So I think they're doing a few other things as well. And I know in Barbados that they're planning, Brittany, who's one of the lead ambassadors there, is trying to gain more ambassadors in Barbados. And in the Bahamas, we're doing a tree giveaway. And so there's a lot of things happening, and all of the countries are trying to contribute throughout the week. But the main focus is really just to promote the importance of tree planting. And we're trying to encourage people to sign the letter so that we can make Tree Planting Week a thing across the Caribbean, a mainstay that happens every year. And so we're just hoping to gain more support and gain more awareness around what's been done, and really to highlight all of the work that the people in the communities have been doing. Because we all organize, but I guess the true heroes are all of the people in all the countries and the communities who've been planting trees and sharing their delight and the way they've impacted their communities. And I think it's really made this project worthwhile to see how we could impact so many people. So I think it should be an exciting week with a lot of activities going on, and there will definitely be updates about that coming shortly.
All right, wonderful, Chaz. And I hope somebody will put a link to that letter. The objective is to try to get as many persons to sign the letter, encouraging our heads of states to recognize this as an official week of tree planting. We thought we would just kick it off because we're able to get regional support to do it. And so we're going to do it, and it's going to be led by young people across the region. And we hope that they'll all be wearing our tree shirts as we do this. And I see that Caroline Mafu, who really was one of the founding individuals driving all of this, remembers Chaz. She was the one who found Chaz when we made that link up at the UN. And so I just saw that Caroline did a shout out to you, Chaz. So thanks, Caroline. Caroline, a lot of your foundation work is bearing fruit, and we thank you for the tremendous work that you did to lay the foundation for where we are now. So we're now going to transition to the Jamaican activities, and I know we kind of are running out of time a bit, but I'll just pause because you've heard a lot. And if there are any burning questions or comments that anyone wants to make about what we're doing regionally, please do so. And before we go on to the Jamaican discussion, and we're going to have Daniel Thompson, who's going to lead us in this section. I'm just going to hand over to Daniel. Anyone wants to raise any comments or questions, just do a raise hand and we'll try to do that. Okay, all right, we'll just keep going. I don't see any hands raised. So Daniel, are you ready to tell us what's happening here in Jamaica?
Good morning, everyone. And yes, Rosalie, I'm quite excited. Apologies for not having my video. I'd prefer for my audio to flow a little more smoothly. Well, in Jamaica right here, similar to what Chaz and Andrea have been saying, there's a lot of energy, a lot of push behind the work that the young people are doing on the ground. And we're excited here locally to be partnering with everyone across the region to spread the message of plant more trees, and not just plant more trees, as Mary will always say, keep them alive. So the work in Jamaica has really been about getting the level of awareness to be raised through social media and through the channels like the 4-H clubs, working with underprivileged schools, moving in with not just the idea of why tree planting is important, but also our partnership with Trees That Feed, our partnership with Sharon Barco, who's been doing an amazing job at the Food for the Poor organization to not just get the trees, the seedlings, but to also get planting material and equipment to get the trees in the ground. Across the 14 parishes, we have ambassadors that are working within their own communities where they live, communities where they've been to school, and engaging with children as young as 3, to communities with elders who are passing on a lot of information. We are also really excited to be working with our indigenous people in Jamaica, the Taino people, to not just get the wisdom. Many of it was lost years ago, and so that resurgence is very important to us across the island. Moving into from World Environmental Day into the Caribbean Tree Planting Week, we have a definite focus on highlighting the different trees that are indigenous to the Caribbean, engage with the general public online through competitions and giveaways, and also engaging with local brands to offer prizes, to raise awareness, and to have trees planted in different communities that otherwise it would not have happened. So we're in preliminary talks with the UDC. Different projects are going to be rolled out and we want to be a part of that. So we will have access to areas that are not yet planted and are in dire need. So our campaign will be to get signatures, raise awareness, continue to do on the ground work, and see who else would like to join with us so we can keep the trees alive and have as many put in the ground to serve communities, whether it be through nutrition, financial support, and also a learning opportunity. Trees That Feed has an excellent program with books that they will also give. So it will be a multi-pronged approach to the problem, because education is where it starts. Now I will wrap it right up real quick. Thank you for this opportunity.
All right, great, Daniel. You've covered quite a bit there. I know that Alexander Beckford from the Forestry Department has to leave shortly, so I'll just ask him to just jump in now before we hear from Food for the Poor, and just to give us a good sense as to what's happening from a national perspective. I know that the government has their own targets and so on, and our team is working closely with the national efforts to ensure that we reach not only our national goals, but of course our regional targets. So over to you, Alexander.
Hi, good morning again, everyone. I am Alexander Beckford, National Coordinator for the National Tree Planting Initiative. Thank you for the invitation, Dr. Hamilton. It brings me pleasure to see all the good works you all are accomplishing and striving to accomplish. All right, so I'll give you a brief of the background of the National Tree Planting Initiative and well as where we're at currently. The initiative, which seeks to plant 3 million trees in 3 years, was launched in October 2019 by the Prime Minister Most Honorable Angel Holiness, in which the Forest Department is tasked to spearhead the initiative. The program had received some setbacks due to the COVID-19 pandemic, in which we had to revamp some of our activities under the program, and we didn't get the budgetary support that we needed at the time. Therefore, the agency has developed a strategy going forward by forming partnership with other entities to assist in planting of the 3 million trees. As it stands now, currently we have planted a little over 560,000 trees with the contribution of our partners. For example, as mentioned, Food for the Poor, who have committed to plant 1 million fruit and timber seedlings under the program. So far, we have also partnered with over 50 entities, and we are striving to achieve the 3 million trees planted goal. The agency would love to partner with anyone who is interested in helping us achieving this goal. You guys can reach out to us and we can have a discussion on how best to move forward.
How do we reach out to you? Do you
I
want to
leave
drop a number or a
yes, I
link
leave my contact in the chat.
in the chat? Okay. And trees are readily available for people who want to plant?
Yes, it is. We have a nursery stocked.
Okay, great. Good news for Jamaica.
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. And so our tree planting ambassadors can get trees too, right?
Yes, yes. Just reach out to
Wonderful.
us and we'll make the arrangements and from there.
Okay, good. So Daniel, you'll be talking to Alexander and making sure that the ambassadors have trees and that anyone on the call who is yes, who is part of this whole Jamaican tree planting effort, you make sure you contact Alexander. Thank you so much for spending the time with us this morning. I'm sorry you have to run, but we're going to wrap up shortly because we want to leave room for persons who are here with us to ask questions, to engage.
All right, and as well as to point out,
sure.
We'd love to have a reporting format in which all activities all tree plant activities that went on that's going on in the country to share with us.
Okay.
So those contribute to the 3 million tree goal.
Yes, definitely. And you have that reporting format that you can share with us.
No, man, it's just you guys would give us
a report. Okay.
A report, yeah, on
sure.
What's going on.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
All right. All the best.
All right, good. So the national team have partnered with Food for the Poor, and they've been doing amazing work, set up their own nursery and lots of exciting things. And Sharon Barker is here, and Sharon is going to tell us about, he is the fishing and agriculture manager at Food for the Poor, and he's going to tell us about the work that Food for the Poor is doing with respect to tree planting. Go, over to you.
Everyone. All right, so at Food for the Poor, we are really thrilled to be part of this alliance. At the inception, our tree planting project was essentially tailored towards providing some sort of food security for those who are most in need, the poorest of the poor in the communities that we serve. However, through the CTPP, our project has now evolved into not only providing for those communities in which we serve, which essentially is the entirety of Jamaica, but also seeking to provide additional trees for other communities, community-based projects, initiatives, any sort of things that is essentially looking towards providing food security or some sort of climate mitigation aspect. So we've been partnering with various private institutions, government institutions, our tree planting ambassadors. Daniel has provided several contacts where we've been able to push out a couple thousand trees through that contact. And so to date, our Fruits for the Poor program, we've planted roughly 12,000 trees. This is since February, launched in February 2020, and we started our planting activities in June 2020. So between June and now, we've gotten to the point where we've planted roughly 12,000 seedlings, and it's only through the various partnerships and the connections that we've made through this initiative that we've been able to do so. And we need to, I'm imploring that we continue to keep this so that we can go from strength to strength. You know, we've partnered with the government of Jamaica for our 1 million trees in 3 years. And the thing is that at Food for the Poor, this project was essentially started on our own strengths with just a very small team, and all the seeds that we've gotten have been given to us through staff at Food for the Poor. I also need to mention Trees That Feed. Trees That Feed has been very instrumental in our planting activities. I know, Mary, I owe you a phone call. I need to apologize for that. But we've been able to get several hundred breadfruit trees from them, and breadfruit is something that we weren't essentially looking at, but we know in the Caribbean, breadfruit is a staple. It can be used for almost anything. If you're hungry and you have a breadfruit tree, you can't starve. And so that's what we essentially are looking at in order to continue this, because we've been able to get these breadfruit trees. We've been able to get them into communities that some of these communities they didn't even have one single breadfruit tree. And when we got that coveted yellow heart, it was well received by everyone in those communities, and no, we appreciate it, and we're looking forward to continue that. So Mary, again, I apologize. I will be calling you very shortly. So for us to continue with the work that we do, what we essentially would be needing is we need seeds. We need seeds for propagation. So this is me asking, begging. I would like seeds. If you all know, and right now a lot of fruit trees are fruiting, we need those seeds. Whether it be you all could drop them off at Food for the Poor, whether we can arrange to collect them at some location. I am just saying, for all our partners, all our ambassadors, everyone out there, please, if you all have seeds, put them down. If you all are driving somewhere and you're passing by somebody, a jackfruit man on the side of the road, stop and beg him 200 seeds, because every little make a muckle, every muckle make a little, however the saying goes, and we would really appreciate that. And so that would allow us to have, you know, a lot larger quantity of seedlings, a lot larger, the variety of seedlings that we are able to provide would be increased. So we would really appreciate if you all could provide us with more seeds. And yeah, just continued access to to our tree planting initiative by all our partners, and we continue to look forward to working with everyone in the future.
All right, wonderful. I see someone wants your contact information, but I want Daniel to say a little more about the Save Your Seed campaign. I see you put that in the chat, Daniel. Go
yes,
ahead.
so we have been running a Save Your Seed campaign across the Caribbean. So since we in Jamaica have a collection of seeds so far, we would be more than happy to hand them over. We have seeds, we have seedlings, so we can connect after this. So what I'm thinking is, if we're able to do another push across social media, we can actually have, you know, the public bringing in viable seeds. So we'll have to be very specific about how we want them to be saved, viable organic seeds to come into Food for the Poor, so we can talk behind the scenes. But that's a critical part in all territories, that residents should be saving their seeds properly, replanting, even if they can't accommodate it in their yards. It can be given to organizations, given to communities, and also wild sown. So yes, just putting that plug.
All right, wonderful. And I would love you to put in the link in the chat, a link to that amazing video that you guys did. It was just amazing, just talking about how you plant a tree with a seed and doing it in a very fun way and simple way and so on. You did a great job. So I hope you can put it in the chat. If you haven't seen it, please see it. And it is on our Facebook page, I'm sure, so you could track it down, but I hope somebody can put it in the chat. All right, so we have come to the end, and we would love to get some feedback from all of you here. As many of you who want to jump in, comment on what you've heard, post questions. You have the persons here, people like Mary is still here. You want to ask questions, please do. We'd love to hear from you. Yes, please, go ahead.
Hello, everybody. My name is Stefano Cigli. I work with the European Union here in Jamaica at the delegation, and I'm the Agricultural and Environment Attaché. Just to mention that the European Union is the first donor in Jamaica for environment and climate change. We have a program in forestry that is 16.5 million euros. We work also to improve the nursery techniques with the forestry department. And I was really amazed. Thank you very much for inviting us. And I was very amazed to see the passion you have, all the group, the human warmth you have, and your determination for what it can seem something very simple, to plant a tree. It's a gesture that has a value for the future, for the present, next generation, and for the whole humanity. Thank you so much, because you do this from your heart, all right? So I'm a forester. So for me, it's very touching to me, okay? Just few technical comments. Thank you very much for mentioning the sustainable forest management, because you plant a tree, you plant an individual. You plant a group of trees, is a group. It reacts diversity. If you generate a forest, a small forest, is another thing. It's very important at the moment, and also when you plant, to think how you will manage this forest, if it is a forest or if it is agroforestry. So with the module, so take advantage of technical people, silviculturalists, all right? Silviculture is only applied ecology for the forest. This will be great. So not to be, but anyway, there are techniques, there is a big background to be used. And another thing about the seeds, for example, seeds, propagating material is important. Yes, there is shortage of seeds, but it's important not to plant anything that you collect here and there. If possible, use certified seeds, use seeds, they have special qualities, and try to go to the entities that they produce seeds and are usually trees plus trees, that they have characteristics that are important for the production of fruit, for example, or for wood, if you like. This is very, very important. So associate with nurseries that are producing certified seeds, and the quality of the seedling is the more important thing, because at the end, the cost for a good seedling or a bad seedling is almost irrelevant. The result you will get from good seedlings, it's huge, all right? So thank you so much for your passion, for what you are organizing, and a big, big good luck. And anyway, if you need any help, we will try to collaborate, all right?
Thank you so much.
I've seen that they are working with Miss Thompson Britton. I've seen she's working with contacting schools and what else. Now we are starting a campaign for our program in forest, and we will be delighted to collaborate, for example.
Thank you so much.
Some videos that are available on our website, they are didactical. We produce also 3 videos now. They are on the forestry department. You can use it freely. I will take your contact, and I will ask our communication expert to contact you to try to find synergies.
Okay, wonderful. And you're in the right hands with Danielle. She's an energizer bunny, and she will get anything done. You're in the right. And I must say, thank you for your compliment. Coming from a forester, I feel really amazed. Thank you. I'm an economist and a lawyer. I keep telling people I'm not sure why I'm in this space.
And it's also excellent that you find synergies in the region.
Right.
Because in a way, the Caribbean region has similarities, but because of the geographical situation, there are small and big islands here. And if you can try to work regionally, it will be great. If you heard about the ecological corridor, it's just one. At the end, the planet is one, the ecosystem, they all them communicate. All right.
All right, wonderful. We'll continue our collaboration with you. We're very happy to be talking across Spanish, French, Dutch, Caribbean, and I know that you have that regional perspective, so we'll follow up. I see Stacy Kennedy has her hand up, so I'm going to ask Stacy to jump in right away.
Great, thank you very much, and good morning to all colleagues. Rosalie, I'm so glad that I was able to shift things around to be able to make this meeting. And thank you very much for the invitation. For those I haven't met, I'm the Regional Director of the Office of Global Partnerships and Sustainable Futures at the University of the West Indies. I work across all of our 5 campuses, and we have been doing phenomenal work as well in the area of climate action. So it's great to have, to be introduced to this coalition, to this alliance. I know it's so important for us to really strengthen the synergies across the region in order for us to achieve development impact. And I come to this conversation as an international development specialist, having worked previously in different multilateral organizations. So I'm really excited. I congratulate everyone who has been part of the effort to date. And I'm really amazed at how much you've been able to accomplish even within the pandemic. So hats off to all of you. And I think as we continue to build this coalition of the willing, we will be able to forge ahead and to multiply and amplify the good work and the many lives that we touch, and also ensure that we contribute to strengthening the sustainability of the planet. Let me just end by saying that you can count on the support of my office and of course the wider UWI. We have a number of young people who are eager and excited to put their knowledge to action through practical initiatives. And I listened to many of your youth ambassadors as they spoke. Danielle had a really interesting phrase where she said, education is where it all starts. And that is so true. So feel free to reach out. I'll put my email in the chat for everyone, and I'm happy to join forces with you so that we can continue and expand and scale up this excellent work.
All right, thank you so much. So much looking forward to it. I know we're gonna meet soon. And just to say that, to let everyone know that part of the negative impact of COVID was that it disrupted our relationship because we met very early. And then, with COVID, we kind of didn't continue. So I'm really looking to picking up the pieces and to re-engage. So thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate it. All right, so as we come to wrap up, I'm going to just ask Jenny to just give us a last few words, and then just to give us a feedback in terms of all you've heard, and just give us a sense of where we go next. Jenny?
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, good.
Yeah, thank you very much. As Dr. Kennedy said, this is amazing. I thought I understood today, having the perspectives and feedback from the early adopters, as I call you, the visionaries that launched CariPhilAlliance, those of you that invested early. Mary, you are tireless, you and your husband, and all of you. We are grateful to the Sandals Foundation and the Sandals Corporation, Lasco Chin, and of course our newest partner, Mykin. We are incredibly excited. The tree shirts, we believe, will become a signature hallmark of our initiative, and we're really excited because it is a very tangible way in which individuals can not only express their support, but then amplify our message as not only you wear the t-shirts, but you order, and we hope that you emblazon them with your organization so that it distills even further. As we leave, I want to say, again, I am very mindful that today is the second day of the hurricane season, and the forecast is for a very active season. And I am hopeful that the work we're doing will be not only will not only have mitigating effects, but that it will enable us to be even more thoughtful and purposeful and be directed at developing and expanding what we're doing through education, through women's empowerment, through youth leadership, to really lift the Caribbean into a place of less risk. I recognize that where we live predisposes us. However, there are things that we must do, and we must dare to step out of what we've been doing in order to really save our region. I think we have no more time to wait. I think we cannot look to anyone else. And I am challenging all of us to really be willing to have the courage, step up, invest, support this organization, similar organizations, knowing that it is only through our efforts that we will address poverty, we will address our own environment, health, and human safety. And if we're able to do that successfully, we will have business and entrepreneurial opportunities emerging out of this initiative. I'm looking forward to being part of the team that will not only conceptualize what this looks like going forward. I am committed to, I thought I retired, but here I am. And I'm committed to really being one of the voice in this cacophony that will take us forward and to bridge. And I'm excited. I'm pleased that Barbados is on board. And I know working with the Clinton Foundation, we have a warrior in Guari. She is an adopted Caribbean person, and we're excited. And I look forward to bringing my knowledge, skills, and technical assets to the table. Rosie, like you, I'm a health psychologist and a public health individual, but I'm here and I understand the relevance and the connection, and we all need to be part of what this will be to save us. So thank you. I want to say God bless, and I hope that you're safe and healthy, and I look forward to another bountiful year as we report when we meet again, and I hope in person. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Robinson, thank you.
Bye, colleagues. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, colleagues. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Take care, everyone. Thank you so much.